Hi everyone, I am Eliza, Rufila, and I am here to show you the different literature, culture, tradition, and arts in the Philippines. Are you guys interested about the literature in the Philippines? Don't worry, we will discuss it. Without further ado, let's get started. Philippine literature includes the legend of prehistory and the colonial legacy of the Philippines. Rich families, especially in Mindanao, were able to preserve transcript copies of these epics as a family heirlooms. During the Spanish period, the majority of the epics were well known. Here are the famous literature here in the Philippines. Florante at Laura by Francisco Balagtas, Mga Ibong Mandaragit by Amado V. Hernandez, and Banaag at Sikat by Lope K. Santos. You might wonder what are the traits and beliefs of a Filipino. You might think, what are their cultures? Is it important to know these things? Let's see. When you go to the Philippines, you will see a lot of churches. Why? Because Filipinos are known to be religious. Most of the Filipinos are Catholic, but there are different religions in the Philippines. But Filipinos are all the same in being religious and being faithful to their own beliefs. Also, do you know budal fight? A budal fight is a meal served without cutlery or plates. Instead, diners follow kamayan, which means eating with one's mouth in Filipino. They usually put the food in a banana leaf as their plate and they gather to eat the food together. Oh wait, have you seen this gesture? In Filipino culture, pagmamano is honoring gesture performed as a sign of respect for elders and as way of requesting a blessing from the elder. Now, have you heard fiesta and street parades? I am sure that you are curious about that. There are a lot of fiestas and street parades that happens in the Philippines. What you saw are the fiestas and street parades only in the Philippines. Now that you are seeing something fun, let's proceed to the famous street games. Yes, you heard it right. Filipino, usually kids, played on the streets. Here are the examples of Filipino street games. Watching it again, I miss being a kid again. So now, let's proceed to the arts in the Philippines. Artists here in the Philippines represents the variety of artistic influences on the country's culture, including indigenous arts and how these influences have on the country's arts. There are two distinct branches, the traditional and the non-traditional arts. For the first branch, traditional arts in the Philippines includes folk architecture, maritime transport, weaving, sculpture, folk performing arts, folk literature, folk graphic arts, ornament, cloth, or fiber art, and pottery. Let's move on now to the non-traditional arts, dance, music, theater, visual arts, literature, film, and broadcast arts, architecture, and allied arts, and design are all examples of non-traditional arts in the Philippines. What you are watching now are the examples of dances and theater films in the Philippines. That's it. I hope you learned from me and I hope you enjoyed the video. Are you guys interested in the Philippines? That's just few knowledge about literature, culture, tradition, and arts in the Philippines.